Hi guys, Luton here, back for some more Naval Strike. Now this week what I've been asking you guys to do is drop me suggestions and ideas for what you want me to cover during the Naval Strike week. And one of the main things that people have been asking for actually is rush routes. Now rush routes was a series I did a long time back again, and it was back in actually Battlefield 3. Battlefield 4, the rush routes I just have found the rush game mode has not really been what it used to be. A lot of people have obviously made this observation. I did on a video a little while back again. But with Naval Strike, actually, a lot of rush games I found to be quite enjoyable. And so I brought you one of the maps that I think rush is the most interesting on. Now this is Wavebreaker. And actually I would use Wavebreaker it's very similar to White Pass from Bad Company 2. White Pass was one of those maps where the first base was critical. It was a core element of that map, and once that first base went down, if you had the momentum and you knew the map, you could just roll through to the end, and Wavebreaker is very much like that. So I'm going to explain and just run you through a few elements of this map and show you generally what you're going to be wanting to do. Now you have, to begin with, as the US attacking team, you've got a Venom, you also have an RCB, and you have a Rib boat. Now the Rib and RCB are going to want to make a very fast, aggressive attack to the front line. The transport helicopter though can make a more passive sort of high altitude sweep around. Now let's have a little look at this. Okay, we're going to take the Venom to begin with. And you may notice some of the people on the server here. This is just some of my teammates from VG who are helping me out by keeping the server so I don't have the 4-player message in there. I don't have to disable my UI. Anyway, also by the way, if you don't have the players in, you can't actually arm the MCOMs, I noticed, so that's another problem. Didn't used to have that with Battlefield 3. Okay, so moving up here. Now basically what I'm looking at is the airspace. Now in the boats you can only come to about here. This is the edge of the border of the map. But with the transport heli, you can come right out around. You know, you can go right out around here. You can take a long distance all the way around. Now you obviously couldn't drop any targets down here, you couldn't drop any friendlies, but you could definitely come right around. You could drop guys around here, this area. You could power drop people in behind this little rock crevice right here, have some recon points down, so that could be a real useful tactic to make. And how are we going to get to the base? Well, obviously getting to the base is going to be an issue, because from this starting point you're wide open to attack. One of the best things you might want to do as the transport heli pilot, because obviously you can get a few people in the back here, you can get 4 guys on board. You might want to let the RCB and the Rib boat actually push out first, okay? Because if they push out first, they're going to be a distraction, they're going to be a fire distraction on you. And then you could actually take a low attack route, okay? Keep the heli low. It's not going to be so obvious to people. Just run it nice and low and as fast as you possibly can. Obviously you might get a few locks, break those if you can. And again, you know, as we said before, nothing is perfect. You don't know how every round is going to go down. You may get shot down, you don't know, but you've got to take that chance. It's going to be better than going high, because if you go high, you're probably going to get locks. You can then also use, don't forget, these rocks, etc., as some nice defense. Okay, you can use it as defense from RPGs and stingers and all this kind of stuff. You're behind here, going to be breaking that line of sight. If you had a good team on board, this could actually be really powerful, because let's not forget, you can actually cross the streams from the Venom. Okay, if you cross the streams from the Venom, that can be really powerful, because you have double minigun effect. Okay, and that's going to be really great. If you come up over the top here, imagine that you can lay double miniguns down on this base right here. You can pan it around if you have some guys repping on board as well. So the Venom, if you actually work together as a team, could be an extremely powerful tool on entering into this base. Not to mention the fact that obviously you can come in nice and low, drop some players off on the go. And again, it's going to vary from game to game. Now let's move back and take a Rib right here, and we'll just power in onto the base. Now from a defending point of view, the defenders actually have a very, very strong base, very much like White Pass, like I said, from Bad Company 2. Very much like any of these rush maps where the first base is almost the key. It's the keystone to the game, and once you unlock that keystone, the rest of the pieces will fall. Now taking the Rib, obviously you're going to be coming under some pretty heavy fire. You're going to want to make a choice to either break left or break right. If you break left, you're going to come into the map boundary pretty quickly. And as we come up to this map boundary, you can see we're going to have trouble. You can push around this outside skirts of the rock, okay, you can push in around here, and then provided you hit that power, okay, you can make it back to the shore as you see here. So you can make a break around like that if you want to, but it's quite a dangerous move, but it can be good if you need to get out of line of sight from those attacking points. Now if you were to come in from the other side, and the reason I'm going to spend a little bit of time just talking about this first base is, as I say, it's kind of the most important one. Coming in from this other side, you're still going to have those hits, but you do have some more rock, etc. Okay, you've got these guys right out here, okay, and you can push around over here, again using these rocks as kind of natural defense. And you can push out over this way, going point to point, hopefully breaking the line of sight, making it more tricky. You could drop people off here, you could get a recon point back here as well, and then you can make it across. Don't forget as well, depending on how stealthy and how fast you want to attack, you can go for the full-on aggressive attack, you could go more passive, you could drop a recon point, you could even swim underwater back over to here, because of course, you know, you could come over here, and you can go underwater, and you can stealth your way across, you can just go up and down. But again, it depends entirely on how self-aware the defenders are. You know, it depends how difficult a problem you're having. You have to try and employ all sorts of different tactics to try and actually get to that base. It could literally be a case that you go full on aggressive, okay? You have a load of players coming in, you have the RCB laying down that fire. I mean, if you're attacking with the rib, you may want to just go full on straight in with the RCB firing at the same time, okay? Just power it in, bail out, get to some cover, deal with the targets, okay? Now, actually, when we come to the base itself, we've got two, obviously, targets right here. We've got B and A. Now, this one right here, B, is quite easy in many ways because it's kind of stuck in between these pieces of cover. One thing you're going to want to watch out for, obviously, is this first floor in here. And the first floor from this tower has got a nice line of sight down onto that. Again, from the windows, you're going to want to watch out for that because you can have some guys sitting in here. Okay, it's going to be a very obvious defensive point. They see you coming up over here. Look, they've got a nice line of sight. They're going to fire down straight onto that. Okay, also over here towards A, look, nice line of sight straight onto that. So this tower right here is pretty dangerous. It's probably going to be your main sort of check focal point when you actually enter the base. And coming up onto this island, as I say, you're probably going to be landing around these kind of shore areas here unless you've made that flank round. So you're going to be coming in onto these rocks here. Not a bad place for a recon point right here. You've got some nice natural defense, okay? That's going to be out of line of sight for those guys. It's going to help you out. So pushing up onto here, as I say, first things you're going to want to look, stairs, window. Alright, push forward. Checking these areas, checking obviously where your team are in relation to it. Again, moving up more, stairs, window. As you come across, you're going to want to check the left, you're going to go straight in for the arm. And that should just be a job done. Then you can get to a nice defensive position, somewhere where you can check these MCOMs, somewhere you can get grenades in onto, okay? You might want to push around maybe, try and just deal with them, be aggressive, push them back. Okay, I saw in a Rush MCOM game we're actually playing on this map, people were just going straight through to here and just dealing with these guys on the shore as they came up to reinforce. Once you've got that BMCOM, it's going to be a nice distraction, okay? The AMCOM is too exposed as a primary target, although you can kind of get onto it from over here as well because it's very close to the edge of this wall. So again, if you're landing enemy in here, you can see it's not so easy to get up onto because you've got all these kind of rocks and stuff. And coming from down here, if you land here on this beachhead, it's like you can get up these areas here, but it's not as straight. It's not a straight run. You've got to do a little bit of hopping and around, so it's not perfectly easy to get up here. You can obviously come up on the side here though, and again, that's going to give you a nice little overview. You want to check these areas. Is it clear? You can move up to this point. Clear, and then you might want to drop some smoke or something. If you have a couple of M320 smokes, drop them out there, then push in, go for the attack. You go prone, go for the arm or whatever. If you drop a load of smoke, you may have an opportunity on that. And then once you've got that sorted, you can even get back up on here. You can have one guy here covering, alright? As I say, you may have somebody over here as kind of like a last resort, okay? If you have some guy over here, prone, alright? Nobody's getting in there. Look, as soon as these guys come over here, it's gonna be nice and dead. And again, depending on where your transport heli is, you may even have people up on board here. Again, if you're nice and in a sort of good position, alright, look, nobody's getting anywhere near that thing. So it's really important to kind of get in these bases and then find yourself a nice secure position where you're going to be able to deal with it from. Now the next base is actually the submarine bay, and this is a very, very interesting one. First of all, I'm going to show you just a little bit of the area and some of the entry points you can take, and then I'm going to show you the optimal route to take to actually get in and take both objectives in 1 minute flat. So you get a load of jet skis, as you can see around the island. You get jet skis all over, alright? But you will also unlock a RIB, RCB and transport helicopter as well. So those will be available for you. Now basically, as you see, we set off here. And there's one entry point here. Basically, you've got all your standard submarine bay entry points. Okay, so one going through here. And as we scout around, you'll find that there's another entry point very close. This is the obvious one. This is the one that the majority of people are going to play for. There's a good reason why not to do this though. As we come in here, okay, a lot of the enemy team are going to be pushing forward. They're probably, by the time you actually get to this point, going to be coming in onto A. Alright, and so as you get to here, you're going to encounter a lot of enemy fire from all around this area, and it's going to be, you know, you'll be very lucky to survive coming in here. A couple of people will come in, but even more people, you know, you'll be very lucky to not lose the majority of people. One or two may break through, but a lot of people are going to go down. Interestingly though, the enemy spawn is actually right over here, behind these concrete barriers. That's actually where the enemy spawn from. So they have a longer way to go to get to some of these bases. And that's all the more reason why my optimal route is actually going to be the one that you want to take. It's a kind of key component. Anyway, we'll take this way out, and that will show you where the other exit point of A2 is. So basically you can see right here, this is another entry point, okay, and this is obviously back around here on whatever it is, the east side, I guess. You can see that entry. Right, now the interesting thing is you can actually enter from here, the kind of loading dock sort of facility, okay. So let's go back to the base. Now I'm going to run you the route for the second base, and as I say, this map is all about that first base. Once you've got that first base down, and here we are, look, here's the RCB. So this base also gives you an RCB and transport helicopter and RIB, okay, so you have good armament for this next base. Off we go. Alright, so from here to both MCOMs in roughly 1 minute, depending on kind of what you may encounter on the way, if it's full clean. Now remember, let's assume that you're keeping that momentum pressure up. Okay, let's assume that what's going to happen is a lot of your team are going to go in through the standard tunnels. You and your squad are going to want to take this other route. Okay, off we go. So basically, as I say, we looked around, and this is pretty much the optimal route for getting in here, provided the waves will allow you. Now B is so close to these storage facilities, it's insane. Okay, drop that, in we go, in we go, in we go. Running, 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 running. At this point, there should be no enemy here whatsoever. It should be wide open. Leave one guy. Now remember, if you're with a 2 or 3 man squad, you leave that person arming, and the rest of you run on. So what the first guy that gets to it starts arming. Everybody else pushes forward and keeps running. You're going to want to take this route in, straight across the top. Jump over the barrier, straight down, round, arm the MCOM, ready to encounter anybody else, get to a defensive position. The rest of your team finish B and move up to support you as you defend this location. That's the base taken, and then you're preparing for your transport out. And that's all there is to it. This base is unbelievably easy. It's very, very fast. If you're working together as an efficient team, if you're using the rest of your team as cannon fodder to kind of come in and be a distraction, you'll take this base like that instantly. Okay, and then we need to just wait for the final base, which again, to be honest, is a walk in the park. It's so easy. Provided you have a competent team, there's no reason why you shouldn't just take this base very, very quickly. And I know, by the way, that people are going to say, oh, where's your live gameplay, blah, blah, blah. Okay, people that watch the Rush Routes video will know I don't combine or blend in the real gameplay, because that's not how this series goes down. I just show you the routes and the tactics. If you want to watch some live gameplay, I always am posting that stuff, so more than happy to post that on another day. So basically you'll get 4 jet skis spawn in here, and you don't really need to make too much of a worry about getting out of here or the route that you get out of here from. Just grab the jet ski when they come in, which they will come in shortly. There's a little bit of a delay here, and there's a little bit of a question about whether you should continue to run up, but it's kind of weird actually how much of a delay there is between this base taking. There we go, look, here's the jet skis. So it's quite a long delay there between when the base is actually taken and when the jet skis spawn, but it's kind of, you need to take the jet skis, so you kind of have to wait for them. And there's only 4 as well, so I don't know what the rest of the people are going to do. I guess they have to run, or... But anyway, basically you bust out of here and you're straight into the base. And that's all there is to it. Just, get here, bail out, take those MCOMs. You'll be down in seconds. There is an interesting thing to point out though before I arm both of these. So again, look, you'll just come straight in here, bam, these open, arm one. Somebody else is going to go across, deal with whatever you got to deal with. Smoke, grenade. Take out Supra there. What were you doing there, Supra? Arm the MCOM. But anyway, essentially, like I say, I said, okay, yeah, there's only 4 jet skis there, so how is everybody else going to transport? Here's how they're going to transport. They're going to transport by still having an RCB. and a transport helicopter. I actually was really surprised, and our guys were really surprised that this was actually available to you in the last base, because it's kind of insane. It's kind of insane that you have a transport helicopter and an RCB available to you at this point, because it's pretty bad that, you know, you have these facilities available to you. Let's take the Venom for example, okay? You take the Venom, full team, defenders and, you know, gun mountings. You've got this island as cover, you can transport people in. Okay, you've got these big gun emplacements to worry about right there. But essentially, you're going to be power dropping people anywhere they want to go on this island. You can bring them back in around the back. You can power drop all over this island. If you have people repping, you can just be a constant transport drop point. You can just fly around and drop people down. So it really is pretty OP to be having a transport helicopter at that point in the game. Not to mention the RCB. The RCB is going to be a powerhouse on this base. It's going to absolutely ruin people. And do you know what's even more insane? Is that the final defenders spawn far away. They spawn far away from the actual objective. It's really crazy. But all the better for the attackers. So taking the RCB towards the base, again, you know, you can engage from long range. You've got all these wonderful rocks that you can hide in and use as a line of sight, you know, obscura. I mean, perfect place to come up to right here, just about right here. Fire in on Bravo, fire in on Alpha. You can back it up a little bit, get out of line of sight. You know, you've got your TV missiles and whatever else you want to go forward again. You know, people go, oh, TV missile, bam. Okay, so there's a lot of stuff you can do right here. You have, look, little teammates hiding on the rocks, sniper-tastic fun right there. If you've got the transport heli, power drop on these rocks as snipers. Can you imagine how distracting that's going to be for the defenders? Massively distracting. And then not only that, but where the defenders spawn, they spawn here, no. They spawn here, no. They spawn here, no. They spawn back here. Right back here, you know. It's a super long way for them to go. This base, if it doesn't go down in seconds, it's a disgrace. It's wide open, this base. It has almost no natural geography to defend against you. You can put the jet skis straight up on the front. Okay, it's easy mode. Easy mode. And again, let's just take one of those jet skis and drive it straight in the front here. Just waste my RCB. Right, off we go. So again, you can stop and turn with these as well. You can take the other route if you want to be distracting. Might be a good option. Obviously, there's jet skis on the other side too. Coming in on here, look. We've got these lovely beaches and everything. Look, it's so wonderful. You just bail it straight in here. And we're good to go. Recon point, whatever. Hey? It's wide open, this base. You can come at it from anywhere you want to. You can come at it from the air. You can come at it from the tunnels. You can come at it from the RCB. You can come at it from the rib. It's just wide open, this base. It should go down in seconds, this base. If you're keeping up your momentum and your pressure, it should be down easy. And if you've been playing a good game throughout, it should just be a rollover, because they shouldn't, going from that second to third base, they shouldn't really know what hits them. And that's all there is, guys, okay? So that's Wavebreaker. And as I say, I think it has the potential to be a particularly exciting game mode, because once that first base is down, the challenge is on. The challenge is on to you as defenders to really put up a strong defensive fight, because it's all going to be against you pretty much. There's a lot to deal with, and especially on that second base, you're going to want to get to be fast. If you don't get to be fast, or you don't defend A as hard as possible, you're going to have a really hard time dealing with it. So there we go, guys. That's been my breakdown of the rush routes for Wavebreaker. I hope you have enjoyed it very much. If you have, drop a little like and let me know, of course, what you want to see on the next video for Naval Strike. All this week, guys, drop it in the notes below. I want to know what you want to see from me in the game. Big thanks, of course, to the guys who are sitting in on this. So thanks to Flame, thanks for Battle, thanks to Cooper, Supra, and Shark, who just dropped out. Alright, guys, thanks very much for watching. Hope you've enjoyed, and I'll see you next time for some more Battlefield 4 Naval Strike.